Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to our next Let's Play. Yes, I know, that's crazy. We're already jumping into another one, even after we just finished Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors. But this is one of the games that I've been wanting to finish for a while, alongside, Sonic Colors and stuff, and I had the time to finish it. So, I figured, why not just go ahead and pop it in while I got the chance, play it while I got the chance, and, well, yeah, play some more Donkey Kong Country. Will I ever plan on finishing the Donkey Kong Country, like, not timeline, what would you call it, franchise on this channel? Possibly. But, we'll have to wait and see what I decide to do in the future. Because, anything can kind of happen. Let me see here. Let's do cocky. It's like, wait, did I put that in right? That might have been a V, I don't know, fuck. It's okay. You guys thought I was going to put in cock, didn't you, you little dirty little bastards? So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just jump into Donkey Kong Country 3 because why not? I recently played this with my brother. We did like a local play through it all. I am playing on the Switch, as you can no doubt tell. And I may or may not end up using the rewind feature. So I really hope that if I do use it, you guys might not hear like a knock at the door from Mike Matei himself. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but, anything can really happen. This will also not be 100% Let's Play, so I do apologize ahead of time in case anybody was, hoping that it would be. But this is not 100%, mainly because of the fact that I don't necessarily know how to 100% the game. And I'm just not... Did I fuck up? No, we're good. Okay. I will try my best to find all the little things that I can, and I'll try my best to find secrets and stuff. But for the most part, this is just going to be a singular, kind of like a fun little couch co-op run-through, even though I'm not sitting on a couch and it's not co-op, but, it is what it is. So, this is Donkey Kong Country 3, and as you can tell, you only get to play as Dixie and this new arrival character named Kiddy Kong. And Kiddy Kong works in the way much like Donkey Kong does, where he's more sort of like the big brutish type. And Dixie works pretty much the same way that she did in the last game. She might be a little bit slower, I'm not really sure, but either way. So Kiddy is the only one that can throw Dixie high in the air. That you have to have Kiddy in order to throw Dixie into the air and make, a progress or whatever situation you're in. Does that make any sense at all, what I just said? Because I have no clue. But regardless of what I said, on the other end, when you press A, when you're playing Dixie and you carry Kiddy, you can use him to basically ground pound like a crack in the ground or whatever. I'll think of the crack in the wall when I think of the crack in the wall. But yeah, so if I want to get up there, for example, I pretty much just have to switch to Kiddy in order to throw Dixie up there, and there we go. And so to kind of explain some of the newer stuff that the game tends to have in terms of coins and what have you, we have DK coins, which have made a return from Donkey Kong Country 2. So for those that have watched my Let's Play of DKC 2 and are familiar with it, or just know DKC in general, well, then you probably know what all this stuff is. In terms of what they're used for, I don't exactly remember. I think they're just used to just kind of signify, like, hey, you got the main collectible. So think of it kind of like a Crash Bandicoot crystal, except they're not mandatory. If anything, I guess they're probably like an optional gem, saying like, hey, you did it, you beat the thing. And then every time that you finish a bonus stage, you have bonus coins. And again, I'm not really like 100% sure on what everything was used for. I'm just gonna go over like the specifics of like what type of objects you can collect, and some of them can be used to exchange for things, but as far as I know, I don't think bonus coins are used for much. Those are also bear coins. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but there's these bear brothers that you can find around the map that will meet eventually. Let me try something real quick. I want to try to get there. Yes, you come up here and get another coin. Those are at least used, I think, to buy objects from like the bear brothers to make sure that you can gain access to other fun little things. There's the Kong letters, which of course, each letter will eventually, like this one, like K-O-N-G, will spell Kong, and then you get an extra life. 100 bananas get you an extra life. Yada, yada, yada. You can roll into enemies. Kiddy can do, like, the water, rolling thing that he could do. I never checked if my thing was synced, did I? I never did. I never really, like, actually looked at it. It should be synced up. It should be fine. Because I don't see why not. I'm trying to think of what I just recently did for Let's... Oh, yeah, I did, hold on. If we were playing 2-player, I could at least have Dixie pop up near me by pressing select, but unfortunately I can't. Because sometimes Dixie gets a little bit fucky here. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes this game's kind of weird. And it kind of sucks because I really wanted to show that off. But, you know, if we can't, we can't. I'll check and make sure that this thing is just properly synced. Probably after this video. And if it's just somehow just not synced, then, well, I'll just go ahead and resync it, I guess. Oh, fuck. Okay, I was going to say, I could go back down and maybe go get that extra little area and see what was over there. But, can't do that right now because I lost Kitty. It happens. Yeah, as far as I know, in terms of syncing, like, I think everything just pretty much syncs about the same way-ish in terms of recording versus streaming. So I've only just recorded using OBS right now, so I think everything should be fine. If it is off sync, I do apologize ahead of time, and if it is off sync, well, then I could always just restart the playthrough and try it again from there. But hopefully it's not, and hopefully everything's good, because I literally recorded, I literally recorded, God, I can't speak. I recorded, the footage to see if it was all synced up, and I never really checked up on that or not because I'm dumb. I was just so ready to get into doing Donkey Kong Country that I kind of forgot to do the professional things, I guess you could say. But that don't really matter. You know, professionalism be damned here. If you stick to this, I was going to say, if you stick to the left side, you can land onto that platform there, but if you stick to the right, you can grab that extra life. Green balloons are 2 extra lives, and then red is 1. Also, if you're playing co-op, whenever you finish a level, your character will obviously, have their flag be colored. Their specific proper color, like blue for Kitty, pink for Dixie, of course. But if you do finish a level, then it will switch to the other player. Now, I guess we have to eventually, I think we have to eventually come back with a thing that we need to have in order to collect that bird. So, banana birds are a collectible in this game as well, and this game is, in a way, a little bit bigger, I would say, than... Oh, fuck me in the ass. Oh, well, that's fine. If we miss a thing, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It just sucks that I would miss it. We're just going to try to play this as casually as we possibly can. Within reason, of course. I'm going to try to at least do things, but... Yeah. I'll try my best. It's kind of hard sometimes. God damn it, get off me. Go away. I want that. Oh. And while we're down here, I always end up forgetting Unguard is like right here. So if you're not used to DKC, there's this thing called Animal Buddies, and they essentially are just like an extra little sort of, I guess you could say, playable character in a way that allows you to essentially use their abilities to your advantage. Like Rambi, for example, the Rhino. Squitter the Spider. Well, Rambi the Rhino just allows you to pretty much just break through crowds of enemies and such. And then Squitter the Spider basically makes it to where... I died. Fuck. It's alright. Squitter makes it to where you could just like spit, web, and then you could use that to make small platforms or shoot enemies from afar. In earlier games, like Donkey Kong Country 1, Espresso was a character who was an ostrich that could basically just run fast. That's kind of the idea there. And Espresso is now gone. I don't remember if it was a he or she or whatever. I don't know, but... I don't remember. But, regardless, Espresso allowed you to fly and run fast, that kind of thing. And then, I'm trying to think of who else I'm missing here. There's Squawks the bird. Like, he's like a little parrot that you carry around with you that allows you to fly through levels and such. And DKC2 had like a few like bramble-based levels that some might consider kind of shit and annoying, but they were alright. I think since we died, we might have to do the bonus again, I'm not sure. The benefit of having Unguard for this bonus in particular, so as you can see, Unguard is mostly used for like, water traversal, and it's used to like make it easier to kind of do things like this. Because if you were just like Kitty or Dixie there, you would have to pretty much fight that thing on your own, which you can't. You need on guard for it. I guess bonus do count even if you die. So, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I know I'm kind of just jumping through things and explaining things as we go, but that's kind of how I feel about DKC in general. It's just, it's much easier to kind of just, you know, say the thing and then you could just see it happen on screen and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. There's really no reason to explain DKC. Because I assume that most people probably kind of either know it or understand it enough just from watching or even just playing themselves. In a way, yeah, like DKC 3 allows for much more collectibles to happen. But to be honest, it's not like they're that... I mean, there's a lot more collectibles here, but they're not that much more complex. You're fucking kidding me. God damn it. We could try it again. We could try it again. So that's awfully nice of them to do that. I'm going to move my shelf a little bit. I have a tendency to be clumsy and hit things. There we go. Nice. And done. Like I said, at least in the early levels, I should say that real quick. But, you know, we're going to go for everything that we can, collectible-wise. I'll try my best. DK barrels are used to pretty much just get, like, your buddy back, which we've seen earlier. Something else I guess I kind of forgot to explain is Dixie's ability is she allows herself to fly. Or, well, more so glide than fly. And Kitty is usually used for, like, more bigger opponents, but there's not really a lot of bigger opponents in this game to kind of deal with. Also, the game has, I think, I want to say 5 worlds. Probably should check what. Yeah, I should keep an eye on like the time and how long I'm going, because I can go on for hours without even thinking about it. So I'll try to make these videos like 20 to 30 minutes long. I think 30 is probably good enough for most people. 20 is definitely really good, but I think I would assume, you know, you find people out there will probably not mind maybe like a 25 to 30 minute video. I could do 25. That works. I could, in theory, probably do like every world as its own video, like I did like with Sonic Colors and such, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll try to beat a world in like 20-ish minutes, but anything can happen. Lots of things can just go wrong, which reminds me, because I was gonna say Dixie's gone, so. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, alright. I'll try not to rewind as much as often. I'll try to stick with my guns. But once we start getting to, like, World 3 or 4, or whatever the hell it was, it's going to be a nightmare. So, something else is that if you were to die with both characters, like if you were to fall down a pit like I did there, then both characters would still respawn in the next, you know, trial, I guess, when you play the level again. If you die with, say, only playing as Kitty, then Dixie would be the next one to spawn and you play her next. And I think it's mainly done for like the 2-player aspect. Oh, fuck me. I think it's mainly done for the 2-player aspect to make sure that, you know, the little brother can at least get to play, or a little sister or little sibling or whatever gets to play. Because I assume that most likely siblings probably played this game quite a bit, and I would assume just like any other, you know, older sibling would do, make it to where it's probably impossible for the younger sibling to be able to play. Which is why I honestly genuinely like the concept of DKC, the original games, and why I'm not too heavy on like Returns co-op style and Tropical Freeze, is because I like having the ability of just letting my brother play, or whoever I'm playing with at the time, you know, get to play the game. Get to play the game themselves and go on as long as they can, and, you know, for the most part, save me the trouble from playing most of the bullshit. But, you know, when things happen, it's always kind of nice to have the ability to be leaned on for other things, too, you know. It's kind of like a nice show of skill of both of our abilities. Because there's some levels where I'm better at, and there's some levels where he's better at, and there's some levels where we're both relatively decent at. And that mostly comes in the fact that, like, every time we get to a specific level, we always end up knowing how to play it, because, you know, one of us had played that level so much to the point where, yeah, we just pretty much end up getting forced to do it no matter what. And we just kind of learn it. Because I tend to kind of die on the same things all the time. So anyway, just to kind of go over this real quick. This is Ellie, I believe. I think her name's Ellie. And she's pretty much just, you know, Ellie the elephant. And I think her name is Ellie. I'm just going to call her that. It just makes more sense in my head. And she has quite a few unique abilities. One, she can just carry barrels at a relatively good position. She makes it to where, you know, her barrel carrying is really good. Much like Kiddy Kong. Because I feel like Dixie's barrel carrying abilities are kind of a bit weak. Much like Donkey Kong in DKC1, where like his barrel ability was kind of a bit weak, and Diddy was the preferred barrel buddy, in my opinion. The one where basically you keep a barrel in front of you, that way when you're running the level you don't accidentally get hit by somebody, and you could just use that. Fuck! Okay. And Ellie also has the ability to suck up water and shoot it, and she's kind of like a small... She's kind of like Rambi, but not really. She can't... Like, she can jump on enemies and such. Specific enemies, not every enemy. She can't jump on, you know, the red zingers here because they're invulnerable to most attacks. And she's unfortunately not Rambi, so she cannot survive most of that. But, you know, she could basically jump on like anybody else you normally could. And she can, of course, you know, grab barrels and throw them like that. And she can also, you know, suck up barrels and throw them. Much like we saw earlier, and I think like a level before this. If you come over here real quick, you can find yourself a nice little fun bonus spot. Yeah, just suck this down. It'll eventually start to roll. And then you just hop down in there. Just try not to touch the other green zinger, and there you go. My brain is telling me that the word is not zinger and that it's just something else. It's bothering me right now. But other Ellie abilities I'm trying to think of right now, like we'll get to see the water ability, but she's definitely one of the more I wouldn't really say interesting, but she definitely has like a huge amount of different stuff that she can do at her disposal, which is pretty cool. Also, there was a snake buddy, but I forget what the snake buddy's name was. I think it's like Squiggly. I don't remember. I always tend to forget their name. But yeah, as you can see, that level basically was just essentially, you know, elephants are afraid of mice, so just throw a thing down there and then throw barrels at them and make sure you don't get caught in the light, because if you see them in the light, you'll run away. So anyway, let's just go ahead and try out this Swinky test thing. Oh, it's one of these. I'll just show it off, why not? So essentially, they're not quiz shows, but this one is mostly just kind of like a snowball throwing or like a ball throwing one. And you have to make sure that you've hit more targets than your opponent hits. And both of the other ones, other game modes, I think are pretty much just the same. You just run around and press B, which is your jump. And you want to try to survive, you know, Cranky's wrath, I guess you could say. The best you can here. Try to outscore him before he outscores you, and that kind of thing. There we go. Nice, we win. Alright. And then, of course, you know, first to 25 basically just means you just get to... if anyone didn't notice that. First to 25 basically just means, like, yeah, they just get to 25, and then there you go. But yeah, you get a ton of coins from that, so... It's worth the play every once in a while when you get the chance, if you wanted to. There are the other two games, and you should get coins from them, but I'm just not going to worry about that too much right now. It'll take too long to kind of go through. So, first boss, this is Belcha. I would recommend using Kitty for this fight, mainly because you can throw, you know, the bugs toward the enemy rather than Dixie's strange throw. It only takes about 2 throws to kill Belcha. Not a bad fight, not really a bad boss either. Pretty weak in terms of DK bosses, but it's fine. But there you go. That's Belcha. And then we just blast off in a cannon and get out of there and go somewhere else. But yeah, the other one was Endurance. And that basically just means survive until, like, I don't know, until the timer runs out, pretty much. So next up is World 2. And here we go. I mean, I could... Nah, let's just do 25 minutes. We're not going to do it world by world. We'll just do, like, 25 minutes. I feel like people might appreciate that more if I just recorded. it all together. So this is World 2, and this has like the start of some of the tree levels, and tree levels are basically just a lot of huge vertical climbs. There's one that's going to be an auto-scroller later on. And the thing that kind of sucks about these tree levels is these damn monkeys here that throw like nuts or maybe even pieces of bark. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting all those things from. They're certainly being quite annoying. I think down there is a barrel. Well, I thought it was a DK barrel for a second down there. There should be one coming up pretty soon. If you run up here and... yeah, Dixie can still hit from the front, but it's just a little bit more weird to hit from the front, so... I recommend Kitty for stuff like that. Regardless, we got to the barrel. Anyway, the bonus barrel, I mean. This one's pretty somewhat easy. I tend to kind of fudge that one up every once in a while, but it's relatively okay. Nice. Usually, bonus barrels send you in places where you kind of want to go. Like, you're going to go there eventually, and it just kind of saves you some trouble from having to traverse through other problems and other trouble later on. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, like, most bonus barrels, I don't think would try to screw you over. I don't think so, at least. But yeah, you got to use the half barrel here as your advantage to not die from that. I'm trying to think, is there anything? No? Okay. I think we do need Dixie, though. So as long as we keep Dixie alive for this next part, we should be fine. Because I think we need her in order to get to the next little, like, bonus thing or bonus object or whatever. Because if this is the level I'm thinking of, we have to fly to a bonus barrel. Damn it! Yeah, because I think we go up here. Oh, well, we got Kitty anyway. And then you just... well, you don't do that. You have to more so jump from this, and then fly all the way down to the bonus barrel. Not that anybody asked, but I'll just say it anyway. I could have played the original version of this, the Super Nintendo version, because I have a thing that plays Super Nintendo games. I have one of those Retrons, and I do have DKC3. Luckily, it works. DKC2 does not work on it, but I think it's because it's a firmware problem and not really a game problem. Because it loads up the game, it just doesn't actually allow me to play it. Fuck, did I? Oh, I guess I beat it. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. But I could have done DKC3, but the reason why I'm doing it on Switch is because of that reverse mode, you know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of why. That rewind feature is a little bit helpful, a little too helpful sometimes. Please ignore my squeaky chair. One day I'll go buy one, whenever I actually, you know, decide to go do that. But I've been trying to do a lot of adult responsibility things this week, as in, like, trying to get, you know, people to come out here and take care of, like, a tree and what have you. And it's just been a nightmare. So I haven't really... it's not that I haven't had the time, it's just that when you're dealing with people that are just, you know, a little hard to deal with, I guess, it kind of messes with your mental, and you don't want to... you really want to do anything until everything's just kind of done and figured out. And that's just how I am. So, real quick, this level right here is essentially just kind of like a run to the end level. It's got a par timer, but that's more so like the dev timer than anything in particular. Well, I say dev timer, but it's more so like, I guess you would say, you know, I'm curious. I'm gonna die, but I'm curious. It's more so like a, you know, like a time trial thing that you could do. Also, with the little buggers, with the little bees, I believe you can hide in the water, and then you should be safe from them. Why they're red, I have no idea. Probably because they're just more angry and more pissed off. Because if something's red, it's probably most likely more angry and pissed off. I wonder how you get that. Because it looked like there was like an area above those zingers there. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. Righteous! Okay. Hide in the water. Hide in the water, kitty. And then should be fine. I tend to jump on the enemies mostly because I'm always afraid to kind of roll on them just in case I get hit. I don't want that to happen. Gosh dang, we're kind of far in, aren't we? So next up is Squeals on Wheels. Typically, for the most part, in most worlds, you can see where the bosses are. If you look in the top, like you see where that save cave is at? Where that little cave that's glowing to the top right? If you look to the left of that, you'll see like a tree that has like a face, and that's where I believe the boss should be. Which I think is really cool in design, how they actually just show that off. But anyway, I hate to end it here, but I'm going to have to. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you all next time for some more Donkey Kong Country. And as always, take care, everybody.